It's the First Hands and Fright Fest! That's right, it's time to talk about frightening video games! With the First Hands and Fright Fest, we will examine all manner of strange, spooky peculiarities to scarify the senses. Let us begin. The First Hands and Fright Fest!
A home in flux. My husband often talks to me about their original appreciation of the well-worn liminal space, monsters or solitude, shady scientific research or aliens, and of course the curse of little Timmy, the boy who loved fried chicken.
His mother made a public plea to the killer to release her son, saying she just wanted him home so she could cook him his favorite meal, spicy fried chicken.
I don't remember the title of the Backrooms game that included that lore. But yeah, that was based off of a real crime. It's really fucked up and strange. I really think it's missing the plot for the whole liminal space thing. For many, the clear fascination lies in a place that lost its purpose. Every place made by us is a place for us. Does the neighborhood pool house know that it's meant for families to reserve for quaint birthday parties? Are American shopping malls mourning? When the shell of a location for children no longer holds its purpose within its container, do we feel bad for the place? We feel something. It's a strange something, wanting to sit down on a corner of carpet and reflect as if amongst the boughs of nature, the boughs of human nature, the most splintered, far off, forgotten, and places devoid of purpose. You can resonate on the frequency of liminality in such a way from many places, but the so popular yet so little understood liminal space is the precipitate of this particular feeling. And when you find it, although uncanny, perhaps you too will want to find a small piece to settle down and take a nap. Babdi is a forgetting place. That is, it is in the act of being forgotten. The people are leaving this concrete jungle gym. You are leaving this concrete jungle gym. Those that stay seem anchored by their vices or by fate. A single person seemingly assigned one of any potential representative role. A father figure, a clerk, a paranoid recluse, a tour guide, a singer, a body. Any kind of person you can think of is literally one of a kind in Babdi. That's all there is left. So hollow. All the life things you look for hanging on a thread. It makes it disconcerting. It makes it soothing in some strange way. But as much as we, the player, might really enjoy this place, we, the character, do not. Literally searching for a ticket out, you can and will encounter any number of people as you climb the vantages and delve the depths. Babdi is an extremely short game. Average playthroughs are anywhere from 1 hour to 3 if you're really taking your time. There's an achievement for completing your objective in 5 minutes. The game is open-handed and simple, and the experience is what you make of it. Something similar can be said for the simple nature of Babdi's development. Sirius and Leonard Lemaitre make the Lemaitre Bros, aka two brothers making video games together. Their latest project, Straftat, takes the brutalist aesthetics of Babdi and transforms it into its antithetical concept of a blindingly fast 1v1 multiplayer shooter. With the quirky, beautiful styling still intact, Straftat is similar to its older sibling in being one of a kind. Babdi, however, maintains its presence in the quiet uneasiness of its harsh architecture and being able to more gently engage with the barely natural character models. Methodical ambience holds your back into the experience with a gentle hand. The music uses eerie and meditative tones to entice and alert the player. Wobbly synths and cold digital strikes providing a icy cozy accompaniment. Like any good game based on atmosphere, pulling the sounds away to replace the space with silence does its own heavy lifting to keep you present in your movement. This isn't a horror game, but the city is fine with making you uncomfortable. You can find peace with many its inhabitants and many locations that can be very short-lived. You're never in any danger whatsoever. There's no combat or even health in Babdi, but you can't help but keep your guard up sometimes, or let loose as you get accustomed to it all. The perfect sequence to exemplify goes as follows. Reaching a pit of the city, somewhere clearly stinkier where the sun just dodges. It's shab, even for Babdi. I noticed, in this trench, the sewer. Do I dare trek into this opening of the sewer? Passing the threshold, the static in the distance put my hair on end. I pleaded that I did not just invade the space of a so patient yet so freaky a person who would surely plead me to leave. Down the stairs, beyond the bend, a raging, bumping static I'd almost expect from a shit-posty next bot. My nerves raised, but I persisted. I climbed lower. This sounds like a party. Is this where the rats are at? Oh, this is where the fucking rats are at!
Oh, are we done?
I didn't introduce the other great angle of Babdi's sound design in its ridiculous, fun, and transformative speaker music. I was waiting for this reveal for y'all rats. The tracks Kakawa and Carlopetta are an incredible break from atmosphere to show the other texture of Babdi in its strange playfulness. I blast this rager in my car when I'm pulling up to my day job and need to feel like a wild bastard who's going to wreck shit. The Babdi community did the heavy lifting in finding that the Kakawa track is an enshitification remix of, please excuse my pronunciation, Gangsta Jagui by Booba Magoba, a rap and hip-hop artist from Mali. I can't find too much info about him. His Facebook has 1.6 thousand followers and hasn't been updated since December 3rd, 2024. Hope you're vibing, my dude, because I love this song so much. That groove is sick, and the climb down of your vocals absolutely invades my stimming brain. Keeping gameplay and the objectives simple allows for the most ludicrous sensations of the Babdi playthrough to breathe and sing. The list of extra achievements is a gamely way to incentivize discoveries. It always maintains a genuine approach to allowing players to pursue purely on curiosity rather than hard facts. You can hold an item in your hand, start with a bonker, and fling yourself. You can get up higher places with this. Maybe you'll test your parkour skills with some dire drops on building edges after practicing at the playground. Keep finding more stuff. Maybe you will discover the vacuum and fly. I'll admit I used this one only for the exact amount of time you see it here. It's not as useful as the pickaxe as it's limited to just short hovering bursts. The pickaxe, however, is nigh limitless. Reach the apex and jump from crippling heights to your heart's content. Babdi isn't interested in restrictions. The whole damn city is one. And that's why you're leaving in the first place. It's up to you when you're ready to do that. And Babdi isn't looking to hold you back when you are ready to leave. I mean, you need a train ticket, obviously, but that's extremely reasonable. An hour-long game that assigns full life. Another glorious installment in the lambasted walking simulator, where the sheer act of discovering things made by developers is enough to warrant a whole experience. There's a rudimentary genius to a video game being as just video game as this. Babdi is liminal. Babdi is hollow, like your uncanny dreams that aren't quite nightmares, but you're happy to wake up somewhere else either way. brutal, wet, radiant, scenic, and unforgettable and irremarkable place lost in a sea of nothing, but still with somewhere to go. Just maybe there's somewhere to go from here, and whether you will remain here the rest of your days or not. Sit idle with your toys or find an experience to share with others. Perhaps anywhere can be home. Qui-Gon Azuma Manor story, an action survival horror and point-and-click adventure. This combination of genre elements is ingenious considering the tenure of horror in point-and-click titles, and the classic Resident Evil combat and exploration demands a more methodical approach to movement and resource management. Qui-Gon follows Haruka as she hones her role as Hososhi, the only ones capable of defending and suppressing the evil yokai spirits. The introduction, story, presentation, and gameplay of Qui-Gon are remarkably sharp to offer a concise and narrowly perfected title. After the tutorial is a linear path to the manor proper. Each chapter will have you explore a floor, discover a new area, and navigate a section of the greater grounds before introducing one of the few bosses of the game. The final chapters take your now established familiarity of the entire map to solve an overarching secret code, ultimately reaching the pinnacle of the manor itself as well as its hellish bowels.
Oh? It's getting spooky, you guys.
Haruka is a dependable and responsible young woman who takes it upon herself to save the Azuma clan from the dark spirits after her sensei turned into an adorable frog. Uncovering the secrets of the clan as well as saving its people as you progress adds a horror game safe room comfort throughout, perfectly self-contained from the tutorial to the credits. The entire experience is designed for your careful approach to each of its elements and avoids being a slog with its succinct scope. Running around will get you hurt, but walking will save you from damage and save you from overlooking careful details, which is the harmonious design choice for a game looking to combine action survival horror stuff like Resident Evil with point-and-click adventures, where every single object in a room can be investigated, and more times than not, there's something unique to observe. A game like Qui-Gon exemplifies that there's still interesting things you can do with genres besides adding gimmicks or minigames to keep a core gameplay loop from getting stale. There's more interesting things you can do with the controls besides having the bumpers run or attack, or having the right stick control the camera. Obviously, static cameras are not archaic design choices that dumb game designers came up with back in the day because they didn't know any better. Yes, people also used to shudder at first-person games using the right stick to move your POV, but also people think the original controls of Metroid Prime are shit now with that hindsight, and I could not disagree with that more. Unique controls take getting used to most of the time, but that also means they are a mechanism designed with the game you're playing specifically in mind. Metroid Prime's lock-on or static free aim, the Wii generation's gimmicky Wiimote movements, or Qui-Gon's right stick for pointer controls all make perfect sense within their context. Control standardization is good for accessibility, and many a game I think benefit from this. I think it's a good way to get into gaming too, but it's not scripture, and there are vast and interesting experiences, retro or otherwise, that stem directly from being creative and intentional with their controls. Qui-Gon wouldn't be half as engaging or interesting as it is if the controls reflected all its peers.
Oh, fuck. I heard that. Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's fine. Oh, yeah. You're not gonna get me, bitch. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, yeah. What the fuck? What the fuck?
The atmosphere in Spooks are light and fun. I would say they are ghoulish in nature. There is a mysterious atmosphere throughout, humble uneasiness thanks to the potent sound design and RE nostalgic presentation. The whole game feels like being alone to explore an open-ended haunted house. Thankfully, the focus is on maintaining its light-hearted spooks through these charming vibes rather than trying to up the ante with some jump scares or, I don't know, something out of pocket. The creaking doors as you enter the manor, the beautiful track that plays when you finally reach and rid the rooftop of the yokai. Everything at work in presentation and sound is very immersive in narrating the idea that you're ridding this place of evil. I felt just the slightest anxiety entering the shacks with no lights, only the wailing winds to accompany me as I think through where to go or what to do next. I also love the aesthetic of the game with its film borders to keep it in a very tight aspect ratio. It helps create a center of focus, but also some claustrophobia. It's efficient, but where Qui-Gon really builds its tension, and maybe its genuine horror elements, is in the pairing of its slow and methodical gameplay with its inventory management. There are not only limited healing items in the game, but also limited saving items. This reflects more of the classic Resident Evil experience with the ink ribbons. I think it's valuable in particular to Qui-Gon to bring back some of those old school limitations, since so much also the game is inspired from survival horror history, but also point and click methodology. These talismans are precious, and beyond single use saving, they are also used to upgrade your 3 core items. I appreciate the additional variety to their use case to make them even more sacred of an item to maintain thoughtfully in your inventory. Near the end of the game, you end up with more than enough talismans to take the edge off, but also your familiarity with the mechanics, as well as how to deal with these dastardly bastards, should already be alleviating that. Each enemy has a specific way to be dealt, according to their positioning and speed and one of your 3 weapons. My favorite enemy in the game actually requires 2, using the Nagatana to cut it down to size and the mirror to shine the ceiling light into its exposed eye above. That being said, the tension of searching for a save point to avoid losing progress or spending your save when you are in a poor position like having little health or resources makes for a very coarse experience which conjures up horror. I felt such genuine relief when I was in good standing with my inventory, my health, and found a perfect save point. Game mechanical horror, rather than plainly audio-visual. Even if you do lose progress, Qui-Gon gets to flex its Resident Evil inspirations in its replayability. It's a chance to showcase just how efficiently you can achieve a task after you've got the practice in. This is something that the RE series boasts with its continued playthroughs. If you lose progress in Qui-Gon thanks to your previous experience and its humble 4-hour playtime, you can get back to where you need to be quickly, even if there are some puzzles you'll have to solve again. I just really appreciate that Gudo Taguchi, the lone designer, animator, and I believe writer, was able to take an idea such as this and exercised it with such consistency and brevity. The core design is fun, unique, and playfully monster mashing it up with its presentation. I really can't find much to complain about. The one piece that I couldn't bring my patience up to engage with was the overarching secret code puzzle I brought up earlier. I really do love everything about the aspect of it in the game. About halfway through, you unlock the ability to break the strict camera mechanics to peer into Haruka's perspective. You were supposed to use this to scour the entire manor and find the variables of a cipher to crack into the basement safe. It's straightforward mechanically, a fun play on static camera gameplay that's concept feels like it belongs here, but I was hesitant to really engage with it simply for the way it brushes against the pacing of the rest of the experience. It requires comprehensive backtracking to scrutinize every inch of the house to find each cipher, which is a bit hypocritical of me since I was just praising how simple the layout of the map is, but it's usually one-to-one. If you look in first person against the camera that clearly obfuscates a very specific angle of a room, you will usually find what you need. I hate to say I used a guide to keep it quick, but I did. My impatient ass wanted to see the rest of the game too badly. Despite my retention, all aspects of Qui-Gon are harmonious with the original goal. The softened PS2 aesthetics to the retro-inspired gameplay, and a story whose characters are neatly interwoven and connected. Qui-Gon does it. The static camera, the inventory, the attention to detail, and the controls that you have to get used to demand your engagement. And if you allow it, it does this whole video game interactive entertainment thing very well. The counterbalance to all of these edges and difficulties with the flow, such as how fast-paced do you make the combat, how large of a playable area should it be, how much mental stack do you tax on the player with ongoing puzzles and solutions in tandem with wrapping your head around the controls. Honestly, Qui-Gon is stellar with all the answers it chooses. And I'm inflating just how much you have to get used to the game controls anyways. When you understand what it's going for, it becomes intrinsic quite quickly. With these design considerations in mind, I really can't recommend it enough. The magic of a game builds when the mechanics parallel the message, the themes, the story, or even its characters. It's clear that the tactile act of play, to engage, is critical to the success of the game, and that you can in fact design friction in order to harmonize with the greater ideas of any work. This is the fundamental uniquity of video games. Silent Hill 2's James Sunderland plays like a sack of potatoes. The debate of whether this is intentional to the themes of the game or the developers unable to make a quote, good feeling game to play is irrelevant. Just as any art transcends the intentions of the artist once it's released into the wild, it makes sense why this conclusion has been made on the gameplay of Silent Hill 2. I don't think it's outlandish to argue for why the developers might have intentionally made the gameplay obtuse or rough. But either way, the mechanics harmonize with the game itself. It is always the sum of its parts, as well as how each individual interprets that sum. Other mediums can achieve this effect as well, but largely only in how they relay information. House of Leaves is infamous in the obtuse and confusing way it relinquishes details through layer after layer of storytelling perverted by the perspectives interpreted through others' perspectives. Some may just call this confusing for confusing's sake, but this is reductive of how storytelling supposedly should work rather than how it can work. How information relayed is vastly more interesting than the information itself. It's like looking at a jigsaw puzzle and being frustrated that the full image is splintered from the start. Are you annoyed that the art is asking you to engage with it in a targeted way as to create an experience? As I reflected in Qui-Gon, the coarseness of its gameplay begs for engagement in a way not often asked of in survival horror types. It generates horror through its mechanics as a result. Caput Mortem, released earlier this year by Wild Arts Studio, expertly achieves this tension thanks to its dubious controls. Wild Arts has been a frequent collaborator with other publishers and developers such as Valve and Epic, but Caput Mortem is the third project developed in-house, so to say. Rather than an inspired fusion of dissimilar genres, Caput Mortem stands firm in its roots like any other great first-person horror adventure. On its own imagery and themes, it stands as a short but sweet and incredibly solid horror experience. An intriguing story of alchemical horrors and the folly of mankind's pursuit of the quote, democratization of creation and life. Killer monster designs and memorable environments baked in disconcerting atmosphere. However, Caput Mortem elevates all of these aspects with its actual primary concept in how it plays. The game recommends that you play with a gamepad because the controls are even more haunting. You use right and left bumpers to look up and down, as well as the right and left triggers to look right and left. Your perspective navigated through rigid and static buttons makes space for the right stick to control the protagonist's right hand as opposed to their point of view. This is strange and difficult to get used to. The association to right buttons pointing towards the right and up, and left buttons pointing left and down feel inherently correct, but the multiple combinations of the four cardinal directions are difficult to grasp and make minute-to-minute exploration a deeply engaging puzzle to navigate as you haphazardly try to rewire your brain away from the universal camera controls of the modern day. This paradigm brings uncertainty and tension to all the standard horror fare you're sure to experience in a game like this.
What?
The ominous tower of the game looms over you as you get your bearings outside. The entryway is quiet and indifferent. It provides just enough time to somewhat prepare for what exploration is like under this control scheme. And in a humiliating rug pull, the elevator takes you below the seemingly massive tower you were about to explore. The music sets in. The halls echo and the lamps somehow creak in this stagnant air. Exploring the rooms, you slowly acclimate to the controls, barely. The ominous surprise to see an entity in the corner watching you.
What?
You realize just how woefully underprepared you are for any potential threats that lurk beneath. Many horror titles disempower the player by eliminating combat, leaving you with no hope of defending yourself. But Caput Mortem, in its cruel ways, lets your heart sink when you find your first weapon. It's genius to utilize the aberrant controls to make combat in a horror game just as scary as attempting to avoid the danger. The first enemies you encounter aren't too horrific, a good introduction to needing to aim your own arm to actually make an attack connect. But nothing's quite synchronous yet, so you find yourself coming upon one of these sick leeches and still taking a breath before jumping in to eliminate the threat. And of course, the threats get much worse.
Come on, man. You are not making me go down there. God damn it. Shit. Okay, alright. No. Shit. You ugly pancake motherfucker, I'm dying.
I could have run away from this monster. I actually intended to hide back under the furnace, but my inability to turn effectively in a panic had me so locked up. All I could do was just move myself to get the knife to connect and hope I survive. The game moves from the initial combat quickly. In fact, each of its core encounters per chapter are wholly unique. The advancement of action and set piece is all killer, no filler. That run-in with the amnesia-esque monstrosity piece of shit is the only one of its kind in the game. It remains brisk, sharp, and never stops iterating on its unique control scheme to introduce genuinely original conflicts to suffer through. The classmate is not something to fight, but suppress by appeasing it in its own sick form of patty cake. It's truly cruel to have a monster in a horror game literally announce its arrival to you when you're still getting your bearings on how to fucking turn left or right correctly and quickly enough.
Oh, yes, yeah, you are. Yeah, there you are. Hey, come on. Oh, thank God. Why is he caked?
There are many surprises in store as the evolving environments expand and forebode with their scope and implications. The homunculus village is a stomach-dropping delight of splendor and savagery that would make any very, very special from Softian clap and point at the screen like a vindicated gamer seal to see their very, very special and totally existent Souls-like influence on this twisting and turning horror game. In a story about rugged and incomplete recreations of humanity taking shape and expanding out into our world, it opens a lot of quandaries on how similarly clunky and almost inaccurate our own character operates. There are many reflections on the homunculus and alchemy of this world and this mad science pursuit of some creation for seemingly no other end than to make ourselves obsolete. A fumbling and incomplete fabrication thanks to technologies and alchemy's best. the very soul sacrificed for a breakthrough. Perhaps us, as the visitor, have our hand much deeper in the unfolding events, both mechanically and thematically. How we function so stiff and poor, like some early sapien establishing how to be human. Do we share the soulless fate as homunculus? Yet a celestial Lovecraftian force beckons us. This force of the soul aches and appeases to we the player's true being. Surely this is a sign of our humanity. I love the ending of this game and its quiet poetry. A Lovecraftian force at the deepest depths of a hellish narrative like this is rather a common inspiration today, but the choice of theory and examination into the way of anima mundi is apt. In our world full of toxic pursuits, those that do not have any goodwill towards the interests of the greater we, it feels powerful to take a moment to ponder the great why, to be critical of our reasonings towards doing things. The soul will never be obsolete, even if the annals of time reduce it back down to that rock in the sea, to one day be sculpted again into something that will do it right. If we can just release our souls from the cages we made ourselves, life can learn to live again. A barbecue is a tradition first introduced to professional shitty bitch Christopher Columbus, who learned the tradition from the Taino indigenous peoples, the act of communal pit fires to cook meats and root vegetables deep in the ground. It was noted and made famous for the smoky flavor this art of cooking provided. Notably, in regards to dream barbecues, before you attend to the job of murdering your boss, you're gonna have to deal with the smoke.
だが一つ問題があるとすれば、お前は遅すぎた。
Enna is on that Pablo Picasso shit, a splintering, swirling, strange, and magnificent world of dreams or realities or afterlife whatevers.
Returning estimating shipment to distribution terminal.
I didn't know who or what Enna was, but I'd seen them before, and when I was recommended the trailer for the game, I knew I had to get in on this stuff. I decided to let Dream Barbecue cook and be my introduction to this world and its characters. I really loved this approach to a fan base and story swirling with enthusiasm and potential lore. Prior to Dream Barbecue, Joel Guerrera, simply Joel G on socials, introduced Enna with a simple character concept in 2020. The game was announced after 3 initial episodes uploaded to YouTube, advertised as the 4th installment of the series. From these smaller Windows 97 vibes to this incredibly dense exploration game, it's clear how much the project has expanded for Joel, the animators, the sound designers, musicians, and more. A game was the natural progression for the web series, as a lot of the episodes consist of footage made from a rudimentary playable engine the team had prototyped. Enna is gripping from the beginning, but Dream Barbecue and the most recent episode really show the developing quality of the series. The duology of meanie and salesman are defo my favorites in comparison to happy and sad Enna.
Hey pal, my sympathy is gonna cost you for every condolence.
What are your pain points? What's your problem? What are our business struggles today? Let me help you invest in your future.
I may just be partial because they made my first impression, but either way, Joel G cooked with this character design, and it naturally has abundant potential with the joint paradigms. The dichotomy of performances from both tickle my brain with their influctuations and energy.
I'm here for our pending business with
Your stupid boss! Firstly, I need to get more info on this pointless shit!
Way they counterbalance is memorable. Enna's sentences scurry around in my brain. It feels whimsical to jump in the deep end and accept the things encountered at face value. The world of Enna is confounding to the senses, and although we might have no clue on the what does it all mean, if there even is a something, Enna is meticulous abstract art with abstract characters in an abstract life. In the same way that an impressionistic painting seeks to convey feeling, so too is this my answer to what I witness in the realm. This isn't to say that there aren't real mechanics or aspects for the world to stand firm on. There are many theories to Enna, and many clues to a potential species, or at least a being with many versions. Enna seems to be the black sheep worst of the worst in terms of rapport with all the other beings of these lands. I'm not sure if it's the split personality or the seemingly fractured soul, a part of a mutilated body, but we have a job and some friends too. The world has its hierarchy with its genie gods and portals or doors to reach new lands akin to LSD Dream Emulator or Yume Nikki. But I don't care much for comparisons for Enna. It feels wholly its own, despite some simple adjacencies you can draw up to easily explain it to the layman, like its Adventure Time flavored absurdism.
Go away! What? You are Anna? You have a job?
It's more of a lifestyle. That's my destiny. What more could I do? God knows the rest.
Ew, I am nice to you, and this is the thanks I get?
Rude entities like you get punished for the sins of others.
Tell me! I'm joking! Fell for it, didn't you?
Miss, could you keep it down, please? The pizza guy is right here.
Great stories that take place in a world of disorder often hinge on a very simple objective, so you don't head rush into your own destruction trying to wrap your head around it. As I've mentioned, Enna seems very employed, and Enna...
Hope you don't mind, but could you tell me...
Where the hell is the boss?
Enna is gonna kill the boss. Or maybe that's a poor interpretation? They're after the boss's gut, and considering the wild aspects of the plot and characters, perhaps let's take that statement literally. Our co-worker Froggy is helping us, and Dracula is here too.
Yes, I am the boss. Ha 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 ha.
Dracula is a wonderfully absurd penguin hiding as a vampire.
Okay, you got me. I am not the boss, nor a penguin, but in fact, the great Dracula.
His repeating laughing animation, the smooth and playful movements, it's a joyous introduction to what's in store for the rest of the cast. A mysterious and atmospheric first segment leads to this hefty and beautiful cutscene to set up the overall goal of Enna Dream Barbecue, the boss, as well as the immediate goal of Chapter 1, getting rid of the smoke in the hub.
どうにかなっちまう。もうタバコのスモークは大嫌いだ。最悪だ。黙れ。
What is currently playable of Dream Barbecue is only part 1. I don't know how many chapters there will be, but considering the glimpses of stuff in the trailer and us going through one of seemingly 3 doors in the hub, it seems quite packed with potential in a likely 3-part future. With one major region to explore, it's gorgeous and brimming with discoveries and secrets. This 2-hour experience only just introduces the inventory system with a single usable key item in the back half, so clearly there's plenty to look forward to. And that's just the first playthrough that's 2 hours. There are 2 fundamental routes you can take to reach the Genie of World 1, so at least 2 playthroughs to see those aspects. The gameplay stays brisk and simple, exploring, speaking to NPCs to learn about the world or themselves, picking up some quests, finding some progression items, and plenty of platforming. Things feel connected with a strong vision, and it all escalates really well. Your goals gradually pigeonhole into helping strange witches, finding pets for a snack, maybe going to a purge party, and ultimately,
now it's your turn to go to the bathroom.
The quests are engaging and get you knowing the place quickly. I was constantly surprised just how much there still was to see despite my initial completion. Extra quests, tons of extra characters and scenarios, and many Easter's eggs. What I'd argue is the primary path has a lot going for it, promising to find the missing witch, first seeing you cross the bridge by solving the problem of Hoarder Alex.
I'm the anthology anomaly! Step back, jackpot!
Ehi, ehi, ehi! Ascolta qui, cortigiana onesta! Ho appena vissuto il giorno peggiore della mia vita! Va bene? Ho combattuto 3 volte! No, 4! No, 5 volte! Mi sono lasciato con la mia ragazza! Ho ucciso mio fratello! E ora...
Oh, I love Hoarder Alex so fucking much. This moody French rat is a monolith of his kind, and I pray to Big Rat that we continue his journey in Chapter 2. You can either pass him by completing his quest line, or simply letting him rot after he passes away, choosing not to revive him. Afterwards, you can save the witch after a slide puzzle, get help from the wizard, and aim for the heavens. Platforming really starts to shine right at the end with the climb up to the bathroom. I see winds conducted by flapping angels trying to blow you off, this man board in your inventory that grows men as a temporary bridge. Great. I feverishly anticipate how this all develops further because so far, something really fun and engaging is already brewing with the way the quests weave together and rapidly change the environment and available events. For the time I've spent glazing the gameplay, it's obvious to see the brilliance of this experience is in its presentation. This incredible world has its heart beating from its beautiful 3D landscapes with 2D artworks imposed, with MS-DOS inspired and other classical styles, copious animation, all popping with mixed media, similarly diverse and fervent music, and a collective atmosphere of wonder, confusion, and reference. God, this fractured reality generates this warm but painful sort of nostalgia. The way the characters appear, the filters on their voices, all remind you of something, but you're not quite sure what. All of them speaking different languages, in different accents, and living their lives in such unfathomable ways. Their situations are ludicrous within this unbelievable world of spliced up, recognizable signifiers. The utter detail that's used to bring all of this together is something that has truly left a mark on me, despite the short runtime.
Oh my god. It's him. Handsome. God, the sheer volume of his testosterone has morphed my testicles to ovaries.
The music is rich with instrumental and genre contrasts. Oliver Buckland's evolving track that begins once you cross the bridge ebbs and flows between many variations thanks to the F-mod engine, which I'm not familiar exactly with how it works, but allows a ton of interlacing of different musical streams to build up and dynamically change on the fly with gameplay. Adding pieces to the arrangement as you reach the missing witch, becoming plucky as you engage in the Crone Operator minigame, I just want to call out this incredible detail. I muted everything but the music to get this footage and noticed that the character models don't move their mouths if the dialogue isn't available. I love this game. I love the details. These artists are amazing. There's a unique variation inside the gastrointestinal maze as well. I'm certain you recognize Oliver Buckland's work. His stuff has gone viral in ushering a particular sound to the backrooms phenomenon. Dream Barbecue even maintains the leitmotif heard in Backroom's Labyrinth and has been a core character to the web series and game. Obviously, he isn't the only composer. Ippei Tori's work on the hub provides incredible funk to the entire composition. The Japanese sound profile paired with slapping bass is an energizing way to get the adventure moving. You don't even encounter the main menu until after the credits, and their work for the title screen is a perfect period on the experience until more of the game is available. 9 total composers are credited, and although I don't have accurate lists of who is responsible for all of what, they along with their animator and programmer co-artists use such a rich trove of textures and high and low res tools to formulate this avant-garde experience. After you reach the bathroom and exercise your wish for the genie, you aimlessly wander through liminal realms, shapes and sounds hollowed and no longer meaningful, floating verses of tracks all disparagingly playing at different points of interest. John Fraser and others' works on these loose and abundant tracks throughout the final liminal segments of the chapter feel as life is everywhere, still so confusing and messy and unable to be interpreted. Shirakawa Go was a particular highlight of a track for me in its water-based sound sample repeating through a nostalgic synth. There is so much depth of flavor in Dream Barbecue to chew on and let ruminate on your on your artistic taste buds. But then, just like that, chapter 1 is over. I love these characters and the story taking place. On the other side of the previously described liminal vibes, Enna is one that generates its aura through nostalgic mediums. You can make the story and world about anything. Ultimately, in its warm, strange, swirling muddles, I found a catharsis. Strange people similar to me, totally different from me. Everyone is peculiar, and we're confused, and we're angry, and making opportunity, and falling in love with things, and partying, and exploding, and laughing, and whoever the boss is, I'm gonna go deeper into that dream, and I'm gonna have his guts. I wait for chapter 2 with bated breath, but like any good barbecue, you gotta let the artist cook the dreams up until they're well done. Madatsuki, meaning windowed, not a real name used in Japanese, but how we refer to our protagonist here in Yume Nikki, meaning dream journal. Windowed glances into someone's life. Dreams are strange, charming, and haunting things. Madatsuki's eyes ever closed in her dream walks, the windows of her soul shut to us, but expressed in the environment. The dreams are wild and unpredictable. I am not one to have nightmares often, but there's nothing quite like a nightmare. The genuine terror our brains can practice. No true danger exists in Yume Nikki's dreams, yet constantly they put me on edge. Threats dangling on a fishing line above me, playfully toying with my anticipation and evolving state of dread to torment me until finally something does cut the line down on top of me, or it's pulled away for a later time. Yume Nikki lives in infamy. It is a hallmark, cornerstone cultural event of a game, made by the lone developer Kikiyama using RPG Maker 2003 21 years ago. Its unsettling visuals and shocking events sparked urban legends and made history of the early modern internet. The Uboa event goes down as one of the most unsettling surprises of gaming in its time, and still to this day my hair stood on end to come up upon it. Uboa itself brought Yume Nikki out of Japan and onto the Western web, and eventually beaming from my family computer monitor into my own eyes. The 2000s saw my child self deeply interested in things like RPG Maker games, Gmod, the dawn of Minecraft, and more, but I never pushed myself to ask my mother or brother for help in getting these things onto the family computer, to actually engage with it. I kept myself on the sidelines, only ever watching these culture moments from afar. My cousin, whom deeply fostered my interest in horror and the unsettling internet, was often my chance to microdose on these interests of mine. I saw Uboa on 2008 YouTube and never forgot about Yume Nikki, only understanding more and more with age that Yume Nikki will never be forgotten by anyone. To this day, the fandom makes original works, finding new ways to express the abstract and uncanny horrors of the dreamscape, or fostering fun character expressions with any of its unusual entities. I got put onto a great young trap artist Bungie thanks to them pairing their music to fan animations. Everything I've shown here is stuff made in the last month. Yume Nikki is a genre of art itself this long into its development of internet culture, sparking countless fan games and inspiring countless homebrewed RPG Maker titles. It's the game and the tool of our generations, and seemingly those to come too. Such a simple game. Its loop is literally drawn out on a single page for you at the beginning. Dream, wake up, journal, repeat. Madatsuki is totally alone in the waking world, sleepily existing in her bedroom. A small balcony overlooks her high-rise apartment or condo. She can kill time playing Nasu or just go to bed. The game casually mentions that you can collect effects in the dream and leave them in the central nexus. Collect all 24 effects and you can finish the game. There's nothing to follow or go off of besides the clear loop. Dive into the dream realm, this windowed look into the life of our character, and lose yourself to the sights and the sounds. Leaving the apartment, entering Madatsuki's dream world leads to the aforementioned nexus, the hub to all other areas. Vague apparitions float in the background of the nexus as well as most of the beginning locations. Perhaps these amorphous abstract entities are gods of dreams of their respective worlds, or wild and imaginative depictions of those in our protagonist's life. There is nothing to say for certain about what anything you see in the dreams mean. That goes for our dreams as well, but repeating imagery and themes can certainly be interpreted. This considered, it's no wonder that a game like Yume Nikki, in all its visions and imagery, fostered a passionate fanbase with all there is to debate and theorize with. It's also familiar in its own scary way. We all share many similar dreams meaning similar things. The pink sea in particular resonated with me. I haven't had many dreams in an endless shallow ocean, but the visuals have existed before and deeply fascinated me. I love these types of areas in fiction. Their seemingly obvious metaphor on reflection. It felt good to just rest here and take in the vibe. And the place it leads to hit a chord with me both in its infamy and its intimacy. Playing Yume Nikki is also like reflecting or sculpting your own dream journal based on how you reflect on your dream experiences compared to the dreams of who you're playing. I realize I don't visualize outdoor environments often. I don't have many sleeping memories of weather phenomenon or expansive forests or deep waters. This resonating sea led to a home, and that is where I usually reside inside my staging nervous system. In someone's home or my own, and in here it is so comfortable and sweet, either day or night. But I recognize this place like a childhood nightmare come back to haunt me after decades. From the comforting snowscape to the pink sea and now here. I did not expect the first path I took to lead me to the event of Yume Nikki stardom, and my hair stood on end when I knew that I had to trigger this event. I smiled, but dreaded it. It isn't that bad a jump scare, but the implications of this twisted haunt hidden under the surface of this personal location bothered me. Uboa's stupid smile taunting me. That fishing line finally dropped, and it led me to hell. Yume Nikki is so dreadful and memorable an experience because just like our good night's rest, a charming, strange, or interesting dream can end up in hell at any point. How torturous it is that as we, the player, that is as in we, our minds, wander, we can end up in terrible places. Nightmares we don't want haunting us, subconscious attacks we don't want waking us, hell we don't want waiting for us down below. All of us want peace and quiet, to rest in a soothing dream, and none of us want to damn ourselves with our dark sides. But the shadows always show up eventually. It's rare to be hit with such a jarring event in Yume Nikki, but it will show up. And it often scared me way more than it should have.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
As I said prior, I really don't have nightmares often, and it's obvious to say I hate having them. It is concerning to exist in someone else's dream space, their mind palace, and see how frequently things turn south. There's a lot of research done on the vicious cyclical relationship between sleep and depression. REM sleep is the time for increased heart rate and breathing, and for the deeper recesses of the brain to exert greater influence, closer to the cusp of memories and the waking brain. Extended time in REM can result in conjured memories becoming darker. It just so happens that a lot of research indicates that those with depression spend extended periods of time in REM sleep compared to more neurotypical, non-depressive brains. Many of those close to me have very powerful memories from their time in REM sleep, and that in itself can be depressing. This is all to say, my connection to Natsuki reflects my true life in some intimate ways. I know that's not a singular experience, just as my child and now the adult, still on the sidelines but for my windowed person, to someone who has such experiences, I feel concerned for them. We all want sweet dreams, and I know certainly to those that do struggle with depression or other mental health challenges, no. It's no wonder Yume Nikki is still the hallmark it is today. Bad dreams all the time. The absolute melancholy and loneliness in the halls of this brain. The nostalgia and confusion and splendor. It's healing to play through a game like this. It's unbelievably potent. We all feel like this sometimes, but for others, hell shows up way too often. I'm certain that Madatsuki has someone outside the door tonight while she writes in her dream journal. This goes for me, and it goes for you. We can always pinch ourselves awake. No matter how deep into the bowels of the brain we go, we aren't trapped. We can always hope for better dreams tomorrow night. How I love Halloween. As things fall away, die off, or rest for the better season to come, so too can we shed ourselves off. That is what the strange spooks are all about. I hope all the funky, fascinating, freaky, and fervent experiences we've shared today go with you during this fine autumnal time. When you look around, it seems as though many grand designs are in their autumn this day and age. And as we begin to put our little mischievous heads to rest, listening to our mammalian instincts to hibernate during this cold lull, I hope a home is keeping you warm. Some magic in life is keeping you safe for whatever grand designs are brewing in your mind. And may your imagination fly to greater heights as you doze off. Until next year, you little rodent, sweet dreams.